Hello. Okay, this is Onyx Understanding. So today, I read Luke chapter 21. I'm like really into Luke right now, like super into Luke. I really like everything that I read of Luke so far. I really enjoy and resonate with really well. So I'll read 21. He looked up and saw the rich dropping their offerings into temple treasury. He also saw a poor widow dropping in two tiny coins. Truly, I tell you, he said, this poor widow has put in more than all of them. For all these people have put in gifts out of their surplus, but she out of her poverty has put in all she had to live on. So I wrote down, truly I tell you, he said, this poor widow has put in more than all of them. So I think of course that's very symbolic. And then like, surface, okay, we see, cool, the widow put in more, right? No, but like, we get that. Again, this is all from my interpretation, so I can come back and look at it and just kind of brainstorm and understand the Bible better. But to me, so a widow, if we look at the word widow, I don't know the actual term, maybe I should. Widow is somebody who's lost, like you're a widow when your spouse passes, okay? So it's like for all these people have put in gifts out of their surplus, but she out of her poverty has put in all that she had to live on. So basically, she put in more because she had less. And that's literally the message that I'm seeing it as, like her, because she had more, because she lost more, right? I don't want to say she's like societally lower on the rank, right? If these people have all this money in surplus and they usually give their surplus, and the widow had made, like, the widow's two tiny coins had more worth, that tells you a bunch of things. One, it tells you that the monetary value of things, of gifts, of things that we put out mean nothing compared to each other, if that makes sense. Like, and I think that's common, right? Everyone talks about this. Like, when we talk about a celebrity, it's like, okay, to some celebrity, $1 million is like $1. But to a normal, working, living person in the United States, $1 would be like $100, right? So the fact that, so basically this is just saying that though somebody's $1 equals more than $1 million, because it's like, this is about the widow's gift. So like when you give, if you think about why she gave that, you could think about why she gave, even though she's already lost so much, even though there's people around her that have so much more monetarily, she's the rich one here. So basically, I'm just getting, like, the first point is that your value, oh God, I wish there was a quote that I saw, but I can't think of it. But like our perceived values of ourselves and of our things and of our time, our money, our energy, it can mean there's no point to compare it to somebody else's. It's literally what's inside of you. And it's all about intention. When you give to somebody, it's all about intention. I think also a good point is that this widow who only had two tiny coins, that's all she had, or he had, for them to have that, and they were in poverty and that's all they had to live on, and they put it in the temple treasury. They're around people who have they're around people who have way more, but at the same time they're still humble. You know, at any time this widow could have been like, or this poor widow could have just been like, whatever, you all are richer. Oh, and this is crazy because people actually do this in real life. A lot of people like desensitize a lot of celebrities, or a lot of people who, no, okay, let's scratch celebrities. A lot of people who work really, really, really hard to get where they are, that have more than them. People are desensitized to people who have more than them. Some people are. And I think that's what this is saying too. That that's a, whoa, that's a lot. I feel like that just said a lot. It's important to give gifts with intentions. And our gifts are our time, our money, our dreams, our pleasures, our, effort, right? Not to compare them to somebody else's gifts, somebody else's treasures, and also not to be desensitized if somebody else has more, because there's no comparison here, because it's all about intentions. And I'm sure that this widow, it's like what you put out is what you get back, right? I don't know this widow's intentions on why they put their offering. I mean, it's something they believed in, right? That tells you a lot too, because if the rich people who, had spouses and had communities and had all these things that this poor widow did not have, if their $1 million was like 1 penny to them and a tax write-off, right? In our modern world, that was nothing to them. There was no intention. It's just checking off the box. And that's not what goodness or your gift or your time or your effort should be, ever. So I think what I'm getting is that everything is about intention. We can't compare somebody else's anything to ours, because again, it's all about intention. And just because the rich drop their offerings into the temple, just because they dropped them off into the temple doesn't mean that their intentions were as pure as the poor widows. So we can't judge a book by its cover, and we should always give with intention. So, yep, that's what I got, you all.